2, 3, 4.
Rev up your engines!
Well, here's some good news for the economy. It turns out that car sales under the pandemic are already starting to recover. Kind of logical, you think about it. Everybody's staying at home. They're bored out of their minds. So, wait, why not buy a car? You see the ads on TV. The companies are saying shop online, we'll deliver you the car. Hey, you know, instead of calling up for a pizza, why not call up for a car? Car sales bottomed out in the end of March. But the first 2 weeks of April, they're starting to go back up again. And it's showing that my part of the country here, the southern parts of the U.S. are coming up fast. It's warm here. People are going out. I mean, it's only a matter of time when they need to reopen things. That's just totally logical. Yesterday, I went down to Galveston, where all the beaches are. Now, the beaches are closed, but the town is not closed. So here's everybody walking next to the beach. There's a seawall and a big old giant wide sidewalk, right? You can see the beach. Nobody's allowed on the beach, so nobody's on the beach, but everybody's walking on the sidewalk, walking to the restaurants, getting food, walking across the street, eating it on the seawall. It's only a matter of time that everything's going to have to start opening up again, and especially in the southern climates, from what they say. Heat, humidity, and sun, they say, isn't that great for the virus. Doesn't seem to survive, and it was 90 degrees on the seawall overlooking the beach. So, as we can see in the south, the car sales are already coming back up. People are getting antsy. I have to say, when it started, the highways were pretty much empty. I run a car repair business, so I'm fixing cars, and I'm driving to the auto part place, picking up parts and stuff, right? And the roads are pretty empty. Not yesterday. When I came back from Galveston, there were traffic jams on the highway. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And it's good that the car sales are coming back and people want to get back out moving around. Sometimes things just don't make any sense. Here were people walking on the sidewalk, right? And then in front of them was this humongous beach that goes for miles and miles and miles and miles, and is hundreds of yards wide, and there's nobody on that. There's plenty of room for people to walk 6 feet apart on the beach. Sometimes I don't comprehend any of this stuff. It makes no sense at all. So it looks like people are back into buying cars, and they're just waiting to get out and go on their summer vacations, you know? Let's open things back up again. Well, Tesla's got some serious competition, and guess what? It's the Chinese. There's a company that makes what's called the Maple 30X. It's a Chinese SUV that goes for $9,800 after rebates. Yes, $9,800. So, this is an SUV. You want to take the Model X SUV that Tesla has? That thing starts at $84,000. So, you could get 10 of these Chinese ones for the price of one Tesla SUV. It was only a matter of time that it would happen. And this is run by Geely. Geely. It's a huge Chinese car company. Don't think that this is some small company. These are big boys. Now, it's affordable, but it has all kinds of technology. It has pedestrian collision detective systems, front sensors for autonomous driving, object detection, and their power windows. Hey, this thing is not just some cheap knockoff thing. I could never comprehend it myself. Tesla's selling these electric cars for so much money. They're so much simpler. They're like a battery and electric motors, basically. Just like a toy car, only scaled up. You know the Chinese are going to be able to make them a lot cheaper. I didn't think you could get 8 of them for the price of one Tesla. But that just says how to step with reality that Tesla is. No, it's not a race car, but it has 98 brake horsepower. Go highway speeds. But it has a very interesting thing in it. It has a range of 190 miles, so it's not like it can't go far. They have what's called QBX, Quick Battery Exchange, where in 80 seconds, you can replace the battery with a charged one. You could have a charged one at home, another one in the vehicle. Take you 80 seconds to swap them out and then charge up the other one where you're driving the vehicle around. Or if electrification does come to fruition, the various stations could have batteries there. And you just swap your battery, just like you swap your propane tanks. The Chinese got one going here. If we're talking about 80 seconds and you're back on your road, we're talking about regular gasoline cars. Yeah, it takes you more than 80 seconds to fill your car up with gas. So, yes, the Chinese are now into the fray with a very serious company called Geely. They're not small. They make a lot of cars. 80-second battery swap. And if you can buy 8 of these instead of one Model X SUV, I don't know. Sounds like the Chinese got something going here. PDX Accord 17 says, how often should I change my CVT fluid on my 2016 Honda Accord that has 60,000 miles on it? Well, I definitely change it now, I would just change it every 30,000 miles, because learn how to do it yourself. It's not that hard. You take a plug out, some drains out, and then you measure how much came out, and you put the same amount in of the Honda CVT fluid. You can buy in lots of places. You want the OEM stuff, but you don't have to go to the dealer. Lots of places sell it. Just do it yourself. It's such an easy job to do. Now, to actually change it all out is a royal pain in the butt, but to drain it out and then refill what came out is very easy. And since you're only changing like 20% of it when you do that, do it every 30,000 miles. I do that. I do it for customers all the time, and I even show them, look, why don't you do this yourself? Some people say, yeah, look, it's pretty easy. And some say, I'm not going to jack it up and get under there, so they pay me to do it. David 916 says, Scotty, I got some tires that were made in 2015. The tread is still good, and I don't see any cracks. Feels good as driving. Is it necessary to get new ones? Just watch them closely. As long as they're not cracking, they're not losing any air, and they work fine, keep driving them. As they get to be at a point that you really want to be safe and change them, they'll crack. If they don't crack, there's nothing wrong with them. You know? That's just how tires are. They're rubber. And when they start cracking, yeah, they're wearing out. If they're not cracking, they're still good. I've had tires that were a lot older than that, and they weren't cracked. When they do crack, then they say, oh, gee, they're cracking. It's time to get new tires. But don't throw your money away. If they're not cracking, they're not losing air, they're not leaking, they're perfectly safe, then just drive it around. When they start cracking, and change them out. Madman says, why do people make bad decisions no matter how many times you try to talk sense into them? Like buying used VW money pits for way too much money at CarMax. Yeah, well, that's people for you. Sometimes they make no sense. They get emotional. They make emotional decisions. They look at something. They don't think logically. And especially when it comes to buying used cars, people are kind of like crows. They see a shiny object and they just have to bring it home with them. I guess in that sense, people's brains are just as tiny as the crow's brains. They see something shiny, they want to bring it home. They don't listen to people either. I had a customer years ago. He just graduated from law school. He was becoming a lawyer. He passed the bar and he got a job at a law firm, right? So he wants to impress people. I said, whatever you do, don't buy a Jaguar. So he goes out and buys a Jaguar, right? Then a couple of years later, he comes whining to me, oh, this Jaguar. I said, I told you not to buy it 2 years ago. You didn't listen to me. Ha, ha, ha. What do I care? People don't listen to me. I will actually laugh at them if they buy something like a Jaguar. I have no sympathy for someone who's been warned who then goes out and does it. Now, I feel sorry for people who didn't know and bought it. I've had customers coming, they didn't know, and I explained to them. I'm not laughing at them because I didn't tell them not to buy it. They didn't even know me when they bought it. But then they bring it and I explain the truth. Look, they're horrible cars. They fall apart. They're going to be endless money pits. Take your losses now and run. Don't keep throwing good money after bad. But some people, they don't want to listen. It's their choice. It's a sort of free world when it comes to buying things. They want to make bad decisions. Well, just learn from them and don't make bad decisions. They're a good example of how not to be. Ike123 says, thoughts on a 2013 Honda Civic Hybrid L with 115,000 miles automatic. All right, you want to get a hybrid, you're really best getting a Toyota. They've been making Priuses for 23 years or more. They got them down pat if you want a hybrid. Realize as they age, they get expensive. They cost a fortune to buy batteries for. If you want batteries that are going to last a long time, because you can get rebuilt ones for maybe $2,000, but the guarantee is maybe a year or two. They won't last the 10 or 15 years that an actual brand new one will. And that's a Honda. Honda Civic hybrids, all the Honda products, they're never big sellers. They're not as good as the Toyotas, and they were never big sellers. When they first came out, they had them here in Houston. They had lots full of them. They couldn't give them away. Nobody wanted the thing. If you like the car, it's got 115,000 miles. I wouldn't pay much for it. It's not worth much. If you can get it dirt cheap and you want it, go right ahead. Just realize it's got 113,000 miles. Things are going to go wrong in the future. Generator's going to go wrong. It's going to cost a fortune to fix when it does break down. But if you really want one and you can get it dirt cheap, go ahead. But don't pay any serious money for it. Those hybrids, especially the Honda hybrids, they have no resale value at all. And if you can get one cheap and you want a toy, hey, go right ahead. Just realize it's not going to last forever. When something big does break, you're going to throw it away. So if you can get it cheap enough, yeah, throw it away when it breaks. It might last a few years. Fancy Brad says, Scotty, got an 05 Camry, 147,000 miles. Runs like a dream, but sometimes I brake, hit a pothole, the brake pedal vibrates up and down. I took it to Firestone. They said I don't have my warps and my rotors or back drum. Should I go ahead and convert the back drum brakes to disc brakes to see if it fixes it? Nah, I wouldn't trust those guys at Firestone one iota. If it's going up and down, the only thing that can really make it go up and down, shoes are worn. Just change out, put in new drums and new shoes. That should fix it. Now, if that doesn't fix it, then if it's only when you hit potholes potholes. Then you got something worn. When you hit the potholes, it makes everything move. And if it moves from worn suspension parts, that can make your brake pedal go up and down because things are wobbling. But almost always when the brake pedal goes up and down, it's that the drums are warped and they go up and down, or the front rotors are warped, but the front rotors are warped. You get more of a shaking of the steering wheel side to side. I'd get a second opinion if I were you. I wouldn't trust those guys at Firestone. You know, a lot of them don't have the greatest mechanics in the world. It's just a chain store, and the chain stores, I've seen guys at chain stores that didn't have any idea what they were doing. Go to a regular mechanic that really knows the stuff, have them road tested. It sounds to me like they just didn't diagnose it correctly.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.